Alright everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be opening the Zoro and Sanji One Piece starter deck. And let's see what we have inside. We're opening so terribly. I don't know much about this deck list, if I'm being honest. I don't know much about the leaders, so we get to witness them together. And there's the classic playmat, the best playmat some might even say. We'll leave that to the side, and here's the deck. Perfect. Open it up. See. Leader stuck. Alright, so let's see what we have here. So of course we have the Zoro and Sanji leader. You may return one of your characters with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. It says up to one of your characters 7,000 or less active, so we'll leave that there. And then we have 2 copies of Ivankov. I'll leave the deck here so it's easier to hold. 2 copies of Ivankov. Reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. Play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2, then place the rest at the bottom of the deck. When attacking, draw 1 card if you have 6 or less cards in your hand. Pretty cool. You get to draw, and then the Dracula Mihawk, not gonna lie, one of the best cards in the game. You get to play a card. This goes really well in the film deck, which I have been playing recently, so I might try to include this into my Utah film deck. We run 4 copies of Quina. Is that you pronounce it? You may rest this character rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less with a trigger of playing this card. So you know, if there's a 2k counter, I can see this being similar to ISO. So that'd be kind of cool. I mean, unless it would have been fun to see another ISO, since considering OPO1 ISO is an insane amount. We have 4 vanilla monkeys, Hamundro. 4 vanilla monkeys, 3/5. We have 4 vanilla Peronos, 4/6. We have 4 Yasuke and Johnny. Donna ×1 when attacking. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. K up to one of your opponent's rest character with a cost of 2 or less. Oh, okay, so you can choose one of these. Okay, so you can either rest a blocker, or you can KO a rested blocker, you know. And then 4 copies of Rika. On play, rest 2. Ooh, that's quite a lot. Your opponent has 3 or more life cards up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less active. That's pretty. I'd assume this is mainly a 2k counter. It's not, you know, for 4 dons you get to set one of them active with a cost of 4 or less. Interesting. I guess you could maybe combo if the Johnny and Yusuke and Johnny. And then we have 2 copies of Zoro. It too is interesting. I would have thought they would have put 4 copies of Zoro. 4/6 rest of 20 opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. That's pretty good. That's pretty interesting, actually. You can slash characters also go well with the Mihawk. You can Mihawk into Zoro, and then, you know, the next turn attack. 4 copies of Elephant Blue Trufin, or 1/3. Nothing too much there. 2 copies of Sanji, Don ×1 when attacking. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character gains 2,000 points and 2,000 power until the next turn. So it could be a 2/5 potentially, or 2/6 potentially. Interesting. And I'd like to see a lot of decks, see how they can try and make that run. 4 copies of vanilla Charlotte Pudding. It's not vanilla, sorry. 4 copies of Charlotte Pudding. Return this character to your owner's hand, so you can just return it. So you can. Interesting. So I guess you could play it on turn 2 and then attack for 5, and maybe next turn return it to your hand. I don't see much use using them main. Probably more like the 2k counter, if anything. 4 copies of Zeph. I think this might be used in Nami deck, sorry. With the top 3 cards of your deck, place them in the top or bottom. When attacking, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character cost of 2 rested, then place the rest at the bottom or top of the deck. Interesting. For a 5/5, that's pretty interesting ability. We have 2 Duvals. It's a blocker, which is pretty cool, which is pretty good. It's a 2/1 blocker, which, you know, I don't think is much you use. On play, look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them in any order, the top or bottom. I don't see much use of this card, if I'm being honest. Maybe I could be wrong. And then we have 4 copies of Patty and Khan, 2 for vanillas, 2 copies of Lion Strike. It's a main aura counter, rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or character to cost of 4 or less. Interesting. Could be very, very situational. You have plastic surgery shot. A counter up to one of your leader characters gains 2000 power during this battle and reveal one card on top of your deck. Play up to one character with a cost of 2, then place the rest onto the top or bottom of your deck. A lot of 2s I see, a lot of low level characters they would like to be rushing out, and of course the standard, the best dons, the 10 vanilla dons that you always get. All right, well, if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and a subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.